effectiveness of our ingredients. We are preservative-free and animal-friendly. We invite you to try all our creams and see the difference. Your satisfaction is always guaranteed at Lycopene Skincare. Please visit our website at lycopeneskincare.com. That's Lycopene, Lycopene, skincare.com. And let Lycopene lead your skin on the path to beauty.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to Wheels from the Heart with your host, Sabrina. Wheels from the Heart is an official 501c3 that provides cars to hardworking single moms and their children. A car will help a mother and her children drive towards a better life. To donate a car, contact Wheels from the Heart at 844-GIVE-WHEELS. That's 844-GIVE-WHEELS. Now, let's get ready for the messenger of love as she educates, informs, and entertains the needs in our community. Here's Sabrina.
How's everybody doing out there driving home? And if you're watching us on TV, hello, how are you? We're going to give you a great opportunity to have an instant impact on your life and on everybody else's life that you're giving something to. There's a saying that says you never get poor by giving. And it's around this time of year that everybody wants to have that spirit of giving. So, Steve, we're here with Stephen Muschlitz from Wheels from the Heart. Will you tell us a little bit about Wheels from the Heart and how somebody out there can help somebody in need?
Well, good evening. It's great to be here. There's so many things I want to say and share. It's kind of hard to put it in like a 30-minute segment. I really could talk for hours about what I've seen, the strength of the women and the children that have been affected by Wheels from the Heart. So I guess I could start with, I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
It's a wonderful time of year. I wish we would be thankful more than one time a year. It seems we are thankful, but it seems like we just really take that one day and really focus, and it's kind of a shame that we don't do that like really on a regular basis. But I will say that I hope that most of you got to spend time with your family this weekend. I know I did. I had some great visits. I went to some great homes, had some unbelievable meals, as everyone knows. I'm sure we're all kind of like trying to get to the gym 3 times today because of everything we ate.
A lot of turkey.
Absolutely. But I guess I would like to say that for all those that traveled in a car or had people come to their house or their home or a restaurant in a car, what if those people wouldn't have made it? Like, weren't able to drive there. If they couldn't get in their car and come see or spend Thanksgiving with you, or you couldn't get in a car and spend Thanksgiving with them, just think how different your Thanksgiving might have been. That's what it's like for a lot of our single moms. We have over 50 women on a list right now that have been vetted, proven, shown, that they're ready for this step. We vet our candidates very, we're serious. We work with different organizations and we really take the time. They have to write essays. They have to write in. It's an application process. They've have to been in a program for a while where they've actually seen and help educate them.
What are some of the, if I can interrupt you for a second, what are some of the organizations that you do work with? I know Dress for Success.
We've worked with Dress for Success.
Right.
We've worked with AVDA. We've worked with Family Promise, His Caring Place. We've worked First Presbyterian by the Sea, just a variety of organizations.
Really great organizations.
And, it's kind of funny, as I've grown through this and learned every day is a new experience. I get a different phone call from a different experience or different tragedy or different scenario of a single mom without a car. It's always different, but the same result, desperation, can't do things, can't get things done, mom's stressed out, no family time. So that I see that on a regular basis.
Well, there's a big list of girls, right? I mean, there's always a shortage of cars. If anybody out there is listening, it's wheelsfromtheheart.org, and the 800 number is 844-GIVE-WHEELS.
Right.
That's 844-GIVE-WHEELS, and it's just an amazing, transparent organization. I think that a lot of the people that are giving, that have given this to this organization, are looking for not only to sponsor family. Any donation is $1, $5, $100, $5,000, but to donate a car doesn't have to be a brand new car, right, Steve?
No, absolutely not. A lot of cars, we have all the mechanics and all the ways to make that car safe, reliable, and a productive car. And we usually, it's a 3 to 5 year turnaround. Once a woman gets a car, it's 3 to 5 years that we can keep that car on the road with the different alignments of the partners that we have and the maintenance. And, these women also understand that this car is going to need things. And part of the programs that they go through and are educated, hey, listen, you need to change your oil. We have a great shout out to the Brake Zone in Boca Raton.
Oh, yeah, they're awesome. I've been
Diego
there.
gives the girls oil changes for free four times a year.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever receives a car, he's willing to change their oil for free for 4 times.
And he's an honest mechanic.
Oh, he's
I
great.
mean, that's a
Oh,
hard
yeah.
thing to find sometimes as an honest
Absolutely.
mechanic, right?
Absolutely. And he
So-
takes care of the girls. He helps them out with parts and things when they get cars and things, have
Diego
issues.
from the
Brake Zone.
The
That's
Brake Zone, Boca Raton.
756-8914 is his phone number. 561-756-8914. Tell him Steve from Wheels from the Heart sent you. He'll take really, really good care of you.
The Brake Zone.
Yeah, he's very honest. He's in the heart of Boca. And, the one thing I want to say is, as I've worked with all these different organizations, each one has a cause, and every one of them is a wonderful cause, and they're helping in different situations. But in all reality, it's a big wheel, and life represents a wheel, no pun intended. And, you need clothing, you need food, you need shelter, you need wheels, you need transportation, you need education, you need support. All these things are in the spoke of a wheel. And if one of those spokes is flat, if you're educated, you're dressed well, and you can't get to your job, well, we've lost out. We've missed
100%.
an opportunity to allow that woman to continue to grow, and the kids. And I'm amazed that I see the difference of these children when they first come in and receive the car. Most of them are ecstatic. They're jumping in the car. They're climbing all over the seats. I mean, they're so ecstatic to get a car. And then as I've watched as they come back, because we're a family, I see these kids blossom. They're almost, a lot of them they were all great and outgoing, but even somewhat more disciplined and more at peace and more just so thankful.
Well, I would only imagine that being a single mother myself and being raised by a single mother, that when your mother is not stressed out, in other words, there's already a lot of stress in everybody's, you're driving home, those of you that are listening to us on the radio, and you're in traffic or you've had a long day, and it's stressful. Imagine having to wait 2-3 hours for a bus, and it rained today. So that means that you're in the bus stop waiting in the rain to go and pick up your kids, maybe from daycare. And
Right.
I know that one of the ladies that I spoke to, because I just love your organization so much, that she said that they stopped taking her child at daycare because she couldn't get to daycare on time because the bus schedule might change depending on the weather.
But
or-
if she misses one bus because she's transferring bus, I mean, it's not as simple as, hey, get on the bus and go right to the daycare.
Right.
Like I used to say, I mean, and not that I live in this great fluent area, but I don't have a bus stop in front of my house.
Right.
So these women, not only it's not like the bus drops them right at their house. Some of them have to walk a mile, 2 miles just to get to a decent bus stop. In the middle of the night, they're dropped off. So
And that's even with their kids, too, if
Right.
they're taking their kids to the doctors or...
And let's be honest, moms, dads, I mean, trying to get kids to get up to go to school sometimes can be a chore.
Yes.
Well, what if you have to get up 2 hours earlier just because
Right.
you got to catch 3 different buses to get to daycare or school or whatever? So now,
Absolutely.
that's
It's
downtime
an
with the
instant
child.
impact.
It's unproductive time.
Right. And
You
and
know?
I think that the car, once if anybody's ever has the opportunity to go to a car giveaway, Lord and Taylor, December 9th from 6 to 9, Lord and Taylor in Meisner Park in Boca Raton, there will be a car giveaway to a vetted woman who is just an incredible single mother that has really, really deserved this car.
She
And-
works at Whole Foods, and she has a good job. And she said to us she could even work more hours if she had a car. Problem is she has to leave at certain times in the day because that's when the bus is ready to go, and she has no choice. So she's willing to work more hours. She's worth to take second shift and overtime, but she can't because by the time that overtime's done, she can't either pick up the kids or she can't get to the bus, or there is no bus. So imagine that. Here's someone that really wants to work, put in the extra hours, but they can't. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't do that. I'm sorry. And then you have to tell your boss that. And sometimes the boss doesn't really, that doesn't work over too well.
Exactly. And already it's hard to find a job.
Right.
So I can't imagine now, not only are you not able to find a job off the grid, is what I call it, because there's a bus route. And like you said, there's a 1 mile. Sometimes they have to walk 1 mile or 2 miles. But then to actually find a job that's on the bus route.
Right.
and not a job that may be nowhere near a bus.
Right. I mean, or it could be a better paying job or more upward mobility or better training, better benefits, but she can't take it. She's got to stay in that let's call it locked in a grid.
Sure. And I have to say that I have met some of the women that have been gifted a car and the children, because let's not forget, it's the children. The women are amazing. These single mothers are absolutely amazing. But their children their lives change instantly. Why don't you tell us the story about the child that was with the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah,
And
we had met somebody and they were doing a big car show in Boca Raton, the Concours d'Elegance. And I just said, hey, I kind of butted in, started talking to the guy, and I said, hey, we have a charity, Wheels from the Heart, and we donate cars to single moms. He said, well, that's pretty interesting. I said, I think it's a perfect marriage with the car stuff, so maybe we should get together. And long story short, he said, I'll get back to you. And about a week later, he called me. He said, yeah, funny story. We didn't know what to do or how to handle this. We started asking around, and someone brought up Mrs. Kavanaugh's name and said, where's Mrs. Kavanaugh been? He said, yeah, we haven't seen her and her 3 boys in a long, long time. So they reached out to Mrs. Kavanaugh. It had been over a year since the kids were at Boys and Girls Club.
and there you go. What
Not
a great
because they didn't want to go
organization.
there. They
And-
not because they didn't want to get there, it's because they didn't have a car. So she said, I don't have a car. I haven't been able to get there. So here's 3 boys that are dying to get to basketball or
Right.
karate or whatever
Which will
event.
change their lives.
Absolutely teaches discipline
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
team concept and working together and playing with other kids.
Oh my
they
gosh,
get out of the
wait,
house.
you know what? I think we have a caller, and it's
Oh,
a surprise
wonderful.
to you.
Oh.
So can we have the caller come on right now and say her name?
Hi, this is Yvonne.
Yvonne, here's a surprise for Steve.
Oh, hey dear, how are you? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well.
How are my 2 girls doing? How's Jazzy Jazz?
She's doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. She is doing fantastic.
Yvonne, I would love to have you be the spokesperson to our listeners out there, because we're talking about being a single mom and the plight of single mothers not having a car and how it affects you as a single mother and your children. So I guess my first question to you is, could you tell us and the audience, how has not having a car, I guess I should say, how did that affect you as opposed to having a car? How has your life changed?
Oh, wow. It has changed dramatically in every aspect, as far as just, so we basically went from the public transportation system, even though I'm thankful that it's in place, it is very, very difficult if you're trying to live a full schedule, going to work, going to school, even simple tasks that we would think are simple tasks, like going to the grocery store, going to family events with your children. It makes it very, very difficult to try to get all of these things done in the course of one day, because you have to basically wait on scheduled buses. There are times that they run and there's times that they stop running. And so you have to just kind of be conducive to that schedule. And, it depends on the weather. It might be really hot or it might be raining. It might be very cold. So you're always open to the elements of the weather with your child. So it makes it very hard as a mom to kind of be dragging your kid or your children through that routine every single day.
Right.
And so me and my daughter, we did that for a little over a year, and it was very taxing. It was a little brutal, actually, because we were having to wake up at like 3:30, 4:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And and on a typical day, we did not make it home until almost 9:30 at night, and that was our typical schedule every day. And I'm talking about, at that time, Jasmine was just turning 4.
Wow.
So, that was very taxing on her as a child.
Sure.
So, on a more happier note, when Wheels of the Heart blessed us with our car, and our car is fantastic. It was given to us in excellent care. Everything was operable on the vehicle, under the hood. I haven't had any issues with the car at all. And I'm very thankful for that. So that just lets me know that the organization took time to make sure that they found us something that was going to be there for us for the long term. I'm very thankful for that. And it's changed our lives dramatically. So now we're able to not have to wake up so early. I'm very used to
That's
just waking
awesome.
up
3:30 in the morning, boy, I tell you, I had no
Right.
idea. And thank you so much, because you really are giving a voice to the voiceless.
Yes,
There's a lot of
ma'am.
people that are listening to you out there right now that are driving in their car on their way home from work. And imagine that if they're not in their car and they're waiting at a bus stop in the rain or in the sun or in the
Right.
hot weather or the cold,
Right.
and they don't
Right.
have the ability to be able to jump into a car like you have, you had to deal with your child to tow. So
Right.
I
Yvonne,
mean,
I just want to thank you. And, every time I speak with you, it's inspiring to me. I just love you and I love Jazzy. I love your
We
voice,
love you
always warms my heart. And you just keep going. We're so proud of you, what you've done, and how you just so determined to give Jazzy a great life. And you're such an amazing,
Absolutely.
strong mother. And I know it's hard to be that of two, but you are that of 2 times 10. So I just want to let you know
Aw.
that you're highly blessed and highly favored, especially you're part of that family of Wheels from the Heart, and we do love you.
yes.
Absolutely. And we thank you so much. It's definitely a humbling experience. And for those of us that are used to getting into a vehicle, I'm very thankful that I do know what it is to have and not to have, so I don't take it for granted. And
Beautiful.
especially when you have your children, it makes you want to work harder to make things easier for them. Having to commute with total strangers and not really knowing the conditions of people when
Wow.
you're on public transportation can be a problem sometimes. And
Sure.
so it just makes it a lot easier when you're in the comfort of your own vehicle. You're having that together and bonding time with your child. It just makes it a whole lot easier to be able to do multiple things in the course of a day versus having to say, what's more important? Do I go to the doctor's or do I go to the grocery store? Because that's all the time I have on
Wow.
the commute of public transportation to do.
Right.
So you definitely have to chop your time up like that. You can't go but to so many places when you're on the bus. You're
Well,
or-
I want
or
to say,
walking.
that I
Because
have so much respect
yeah.
for you, because, you really, not only have you walked that walk, but you're now telling our audience so that they can really walk it with you. And you
Amen.
are a voice to so
Absolutely.
many women out there that are in or that are in the situation you were in
Yes.
and really need help. So I urge any callers out there or anybody that is wanting to donate a car to a beautiful, amazing
Absolutely.
mother. The story's right there, Steve. I mean,
And Jazzy, Yvonne, I'm going to make you laugh. Remember when you and Jazzy were over last time and we gave you the gift of the little shopping cart? I found the toys for this.
Yes.
I found the toys for the shopping cart. They were under the couch. So when you come in to see me, which you promised you would as a Christmas gift, I have those for you and Jazzy.
We
Well,
will
thank you
definitely
so
be
much.
live. And we've just been so busy because we have been blessed with being able to get to more places and do more things.
That's
so we've
great.
just been really busy.
Good.
And I would like to share, if I'm able to, just to, let people know kind of like, things just happened in me and my daughter's life, and we had to kind of start from ground zero. So it's not that we didn't have the motivation to want to do better. I'm
Amen.
just so thankful and honored that there was such an organization called Wheels from the Heart, and not just the organization itself, but the people that run it are so wonderful. The spirit of Steve and Sabrina are so wonderful, and others, because there's a group, I call it the mastermind group, and so you guys are so amazing, and so the love of the gift is just such an honor. I will never forget that day, ever. It was
Awesome.
definitely one of the best days of my life. I'm not used to, receiving gifts, so that was just such a blessing for me because it made me know that it was just going to be better for me and my daughter moving forward. And I'm just so honored
Thanks.
that
Thanks for
I
that,
was
Yvonne.
able to meet with you guys. It was just such an honor. I'm so serious about that. I
Well-
am so serious about that.
And I want to say that, and I thank you so much for those words, but honestly, you're the reason why we do Wheels from the Heart. You're the reason why we do countless hours working and doing things and different events and finding ways to come alongside wonderful, beautiful people like yourself that are just looking for, a hand up, not a hand out. You're just looking for a hand up. And so you give me inspiration, and we're so excited to have you part of our family because that's what's so neat. We are a family, and we do stay in touch, and that's neat in this world. We need each other, and that's a beautiful thing. So I thank you for being part of that.
And thank you. And I love you guys.
Love
Okay,
you
we'll
too,
see you
Yvonne.
soon.
Thank you so much for sharing your heart with us and with the world, really. Thank
right.
you so much.
God
Have a
bless,
great
dear.
night.
I'm so honored. God bless you too. I'll see you guys soon.
All righty.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Hey.
Well, there you go. I mean, we have another caller. Christina's on the phone.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. Wow, this has really been an amazing show of inspiration.
Amen.
Christina, are you there?
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Hi,
Hey,
how are you?
dear?
Christina, this is Sabrina, and you're here with Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hey,
Hi, I sound awful. I'm sick, but I wanted to call in and be sure to thank you guys and let everyone know how important this organization was to me and my daughter.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I hope you guys had a nice Thanksgiving, and I hope you are doing well. I don't want to make you forced to talk. I
have
know
a
your
question.
voice. I know your voice, so I know you're struggling.
I have a question for you, and this is only if you feel comfortable answering it. But there are a lot of people out there that are listening to the plight of a single mother. I used to be a single mother, and I've never not had a car. So could you please tell us how it has impacted your life to have a car as opposed to when you didn't have a car? What difference did that make in your life?
No, first of all, I don't know how many people have dealt with a 2-year-old, but imagine having a 2-year-old and having no car and having to depend on people, trying to do public transportation, depend on your friends, and you love your friends, but they're not always quite dependable. It's hard. It would take all day to do whatever I needed to do, and to pack her and carry her along and make sure you bring some toys because you can't really take public transportation, not have any toys for her to play with.
Wow.
And just having that stress of making sure you had everything she needed because you're going to be gone for the house for hours at a time.
Wow.
No matter what you were doing, it was going to be hours.
Right. And when you
Very
say
hard.
hours, can you give our listeners how long would you have to wait? Like, what's the longest amount of time you've ever had to wait for a bus?
Luckily, I did not have to take the bus often. I did take some taxis and my friends, but I would have to wake up hours early. Normally, I would wake up at 7 or 8, and I'd have to wake up at 4 or 5. And, luckily, one of my friends maybe that was going in that direction. But it's
Lucky
hard to
you.
ask for help. It's hard to ask and depend on people.
Sure.
Or my shift would be over, and I'd be waiting an hour or two for someone to come get me.
And Christina, I think it's important for listeners to know that you're a nurse, correct?
I am a nurse.
And you work with hospice and cancer patients, so you're breathing life back into the ones that are are struggling to keep their life. So you never gave up. I mean, gosh, you were at people's side when they needed you, and that's so inspirational. Not only do you have a 2-year-old, didn't you tell me you were adopting another child?
I do have a daughter that I adopted who's 8.
God bless.
That's awesome.
You are an inspiration. That's
yes,
for
you
sure.
are. And again, we just want to say thank you for not only being the inspiration to the organization, but now to all our listeners out there as well.
Absolutely, and we're so blessed to have you as part of our family. We want to continue to watch you guys grow.
Humbled that somebody was able to help, and not only did they help, but they went out of their way to help us and make sure everything was right and perfect and make sure we had what we needed. The car is amazing. I can't complain at all. It runs well. We were able to go to church these last few weeks. My daughter was sick. I was able to go get her medicine. It's hard when you have a baby and you have to maybe call a taxi to go get Tylenol for her because you've run out. You take for granted the little things in life that a car does for you.
Well, it's nice because, I talked to you a little on the phone and then we got your, application and all those things. And, it was great. And you read these stories and I hear different situations. But I knew the minute you and your daughter walked in, I was just like, I could see a light. You're a light. You're such a wonderful spirit, and your child is so loving and sweet. You guys have this really great connection, and I just was so blessed, and I was so thankful to God that I could actually help your plight. And as it's called in the Bible for the men to take care of the women and the children and the orphans. And so you fall into that, and I was just so excited to see you walk into the room in your light. And I just knew that you were so deserving of this, and this for us to be able to help you was just a blessing for all of us as well.
Well, let me tell you, Wheels from the Heart, I was petrified walking through that door. It's very hard to ask for help, especially when you're the one that's always helping everyone else. And you made it so easy. It wasn't so scary anymore. It was quick and painless. It's an amazing cause, and I'm in debt. I pray, and I'm very thankful that we met, and I'm very thankful that you were able to help us. My daughter is very thankful because she gets to go to the park now. Very
Wonderful.
difficult to, go to the park and do those fun things.
Great.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for calling in and for educating our listeners out there.
Especially when you're sick. So I really appreciate, I know what it's like when you're not feeling good. So I really appreciate you taking the time, Christina.
Thank you so much, Christina.
problem.
Have a great night.
God bless.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So for all you listeners out there, 844-GIVE-WHEELS. That's 844-GIVE-WHEELS. You're changing women's lives, and most importantly, not only the mothers' lives, but also their children's lives.
Right. And what an amazing opportunity you could do to actually gift a car to a single mom and her children. It's going to catapult their life into the next stratosphere. As you heard, you have one girl who's a nurse who just called in. It's helping people with cancer that are dying, and she's up by their side. She doesn't give up. She's always there for them, even when she didn't have a car. Yeah. And so that's amazing. So please consider giving a car. It's a gift. It's
even
a full
$1.
And you can donate on our website, wheelsfromtheheart.org. Anything you can give, gas cards, anything to help these women.
Money for tires.
Yeah. And think about it. If you know anybody with a car, just ask them, donate the car.
It could be a used car, right?
Anything.
A
Anything.
10-year-old car. It doesn't
15-year-old
matter.
car.
Full Kelly Blue Book tax credit. Full
It's a
Kelly
gift.
Blue
You're
Book.
giving
It's
a gift, and that's a tax
Yes.
write-off as a gift, not as opposed to a donation. When a car is given to another organization, it is filtered off and sold, and you only get $500 to $1,000. If we get X amount for that car, that's a gift. You get that full write-off, and not to mention you're giving a family a whole new life.
Right.
And we can connect you with that family. A lot of these families stay together.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you
I got so much
much
more to say. Tune in next week.
Wheelsfromtheheart.org.
Part 2.
Thank you.
You have been listening to the Wheels from the Heart Show with your host, Sabrina Barnett. Join us next week at 5:30 on AM 1470 WNN. Want to donate and maybe be on the show? Sabrina loves meeting people. Find out how you could meet Sabrina and be part of our show. Give and share your compelling stories. Single moms need your help. Sabrina invites you to see the show on our website. See you next week. The opinions expressed on the preceding